Okay, welcome everybody back to Into the West. It's just me and Richard today, and we're going to be covering the latest August 2025 FAQ. Not a ton of changes this time, but we'll still go over everything that's made the list and then just give our thoughts on it.
Probably going to be a short one. Not much balance changes. Mostly, I guess, small clarifications.
I know some people were anticipating big changes, given the new book and a lot of opinions on what should be balanced, but unfortunately, we're just going to have to wait another 6 months, right? At least.
February 2026.
Yeah, so here's the article on Warhammer Community. So there's some rules clarifications, and also we have the errata. So we'll just go with the just one for the match play guide, where the roll of the final result on the table, change it to be a 5 to 6 rather than 4 to 6.
Yeah, it was just a typo. So, yeah.
Okay, and then we have Armies of the Hobbit next. In Airborne Reclaimed, Bofur, if he gets the Troll Brute, does he still get to the King special rule? No, because it includes infantry hero models, so he doesn't meet the requirements. And then if a Nazgul of Dol Guldur is slain by an elf bow, do they get the -1 to the Unholy Resurrection? Yes. Like elf bows are now considered as elven weapons.
Yeah, that's how I read it before anyway, but I guess people want to clarify because it didn't work that way last edition. Elf bows were not actually elf bows, elven
Yeah.
bows anyway. Oh, yeah. Okay, the campfire is treated like an objective marker. Trolls, campfire, open ground, impassable, or something else. It's treated like an objective marker, though it doesn't actually count as one for scenario objectives.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can move through it, but you can't land on top of it, which makes sense because the three trolls they'll actually have a physical model for the
Yeah.
campfire.
Yeah. And then a big paragraph on multiple paragraphs on Bofur stand fast special rule.
Is the new Ballin
Yeah.
or new Floy? I
New
mean,
Floyd. But just to summarize, basically abilities that target him, he can negate, but not if it's a ability that like buffs a target or targets not specifically Beaufort, right?
it's a lot of words, but I'm not even sure if this will be 100% comprehensive. I can't think of any right now, but I'm sure there's going to be a rule that comes up where it's still going to be argued whether it directly affects or is it indirect. So I'm looking forward to those as a TO as well. Getting asked,
Yeah.
you know, will this special rule count?
Yeah. I think for the most part, you don't need to worry about it unless you're planning on taking Beaufort or if you're anticipating facing Beaufort.
I mean, he's a pretty decent model, so unfortunately, I think it'll be somewhat more common than Floy last edition. So it will come up.
Study up, my man.
Okay, next we have Armies of Lord of the Rings. So when Merry and Pippin are riding Treebeard, what happens when they're hit by Wrath? They can't be targeted, so they won't suffer from the Wrath hits. And then if Treebeard is prone, then Merry and Pippin would count as not flying.
That's an interesting ruling because I think even though they can't be targeted directly, you would think that because it's part of the Treebeard model and it's like a area of effect spell that they would get hit. But I guess the argument to tie to realism is that the waves of the Bruinen don't quite reach the top of Treebeard.
Yeah, makes sense. And it makes sense that if Treebeard's on the ground, they would be too.
Yeah,
Okay, and then one just clarification on the passenger rule. So they can't declare a free hero combat while they are passengers in the Defenders of the Pelennor.
that's the army bonus for that army. All heroes get free hero combats, and it's very unfortunate because it greatly impacts Gandalf where you can take Pippin as a passenger and also Awen taking Mary, because both of them right now, I think they have their role, but they can be slightly overcosted at times, and it could have gone either way with the ruling. And I kind of wish they had gone with a route that just made them maybe a good pick. I don't think it would be overpowered, but I think that would make Gandalf a decent option in that army.
Especially Dernhelm this edition.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Gandalf is already like viable, but yeah, Dernhelm is not really being played right now.
yeah. And then if I take a king of men of Rohan in realms of men, can I include Rohirrim traders? No. I think that's pretty obvious, right? Because traders are evil models.
Yeah, I mean traders are only can be led by Thorn,
The wording
or
for realms of men is that they can lead warriors
any
from their
Rohan.
army, right? And I guess it's a debate if
Yeah,
traders would be considered part of the Rohan army.
yeah. It doesn't really make sense, but I guess good
Yeah.
clarification. Close the loophole.
So if Shelob is included as part of Cirith Ungol and eats one friendly model, she gains both She is Hungry and Swift Hunter. Yes.
Yeah, so both of those special rules say she can basically eat a model for those bonuses, and then people were wondering if you had to basically eat two models. But yeah, I think one covers it. So I guess that's a buff if you were playing it the other way.
Another Cirith Ungol buff coming up. How does Mordor Urukai's cleaving blow special rule work, where you need a roll of a six followed by another dice? It will trigger if either of the dice rolled are a natural six.
Wow. Wow. So if it was a 6x4,
You don't need two sixes
you
for
don't
it to
need
trigger.
the 6x6.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's the best army now.
Wow. That changes everything.
If a hero within 6 inches of Grima declares a heroic action, does Wormtongue increase the cost of that hero's heroic action? I I think this got FAQ last edition too, right? So if you have a free heroic action, it doesn't increase the cost of free, right?
Yeah. It makes sense. The wording for Grima's ability is not spend one more might. It's double. So it says any enemy hero within 6 of Grima must spend two mites rather than one in order to declare heroic action. So yeah, if you're not spending one, then it doesn't go to two. So zero doesn't qualify. Pretty straightforward.
When using the Conjure Lightning ability in Army of the White Hand, can Saruman use Might to change the two wound rules? No, cannot Might the two wound rules. Which I thought this was pretty clear, right? Because in the Might section of the rule book, it's like it says that rules where you are allowed to Might, it will say in the rule.
Yeah. I guess it's a little strange because even though it's not a spell, Saruman is casting it like a spell. So I think I get the clarification because you can might like stuff like Sorcerer's Blast and fight Flame Burst.
Hmm.
So good clarification.
Okay. Okay, on to the errata. So change the third sentence for Merry and Pippin and Treebeard. Merry and Pippin are treated as passengers, although the Treebeard will not gain a cav or mount keywords, with the exception that they cannot be targeted individually by shooting attacks, magical powers, or special rules, and strikes cannot be made against them in combat.
Hmm.
So this clarifies all the questions of can you strike at the hobbits? Can you shoot at them? Right. So basically, the only way to get at them is to knock Treebeard prone. Then they're dismounted.
That's pretty hard, yeah. Or kill Treebeard
Yeah.
first.
Yeah. And then the last change is change in ring rates points cost to 105. So this is to ensure that you can take all nine at 1,000 points.
This is only for the Black Riders army, not ring raised in every list. So I like how this is the only balancing errata in
You
this.
can argue it's a thematic
Yeah. Yeah.
change.
I mean, a lot of people were definitely disappointed by this. Not this one specifically, but it's just, yeah, not a lot of significant changes. Yeah, fine. It's still not good, but I guess
You
it's a little
can
better.
you can have one more model at 1,000 points now.
Yeah.
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 But anything below that, it's the difference of like taking one or two more Morgul blades, right? Doesn't buy you any more models. It's the same. So you're gonna have the same list pretty much.
Yeah.
Armies of Middle-earth. Okay, this is a big one for some people. So if a Knight of Dawnroth is within six of two heroes that charge, do their +1 to wound stack? No. So it's the clarification is that it basically only stacks if it says it stacks. So it's the same with the Goblin Warrior Goblin drum. It does not stack with another drum.
I think that was expected, but it was sad because the fiefdoms look like they might have a small chance of being decent, I guess. It's funny that they clarified this so fast and they're like, no, you don't get to play fiefdoms, but stuff like the White Hand and like Depths of Moria are running around. And they're like, oh, let's give it more time to see how that plays out.
Okay, next we have when does the Charge of Gondor special rule take effect? So this is in Fornost, right? Where when Gondor Cav have charged, they gain the +1 fight. So where does it come in for Eriner's Master Duelist role? So he will be fight 7 before he can potentially increase his fight value.
I think that was the ruling at Adepticon as well, so makes
Hmm.
sense.
Okay. And then in Fords of Isen, Theodred now has a shield option. I think this was just a typo, right? Because he has it in Kingdom of Rohan. It's a nice confirmation that the new model is coming because the old Theodred doesn't have a shield. Then we have Druzeg, the Beast Caller, Enraged Beast. Now it changed to 6 inches.
And then Fury changed to self.
And then we have a big one, Gulavar, move value to 12.
I can fly. I can fly.
Before you either get too excited or too sad about this, depending on which side you are on, I think you shouldn't be too worried. I think the army that he's in, locked in, Shadows of Angmar, is fine. He's definitely playable now, but I don't think it'll be a top tier army still. I know it might, date our tier list a little bit because it probably moves up a couple rankings. It's not quite crap anymore, but I don't think it's a world beater. Dragonfire is still a thing, and it straight up counters Ghoulie. So I think if you're a Gulavar lover, then I think this is a good fun army that will do okay now.
He probably still isn't as oppressive as last edition, right? Because while Heroic Strike is worse, so less heroes can counter him, there a lot of heroes also gain fight value, right? So his fight 7 isn't as good.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of good heroes with 5/7. So yeah, he doesn't have strikes still. So yeah, if you come up against a fight 7 or a fight 8 big hero, you have to force the paralyze before you can do anything.
And Moria changed the bullet point to the following: Beast Warrior models may only be included in Druzek's Warband.
Yeah, that's just a missing text that they should have had.
Mm. Because before it just said Beast, right? And that included Cave Drakes.
Oh yeah,
Basically, it
yeah,
was technically illegal to take Cave Drakes
right.
because they had to be in Druzek's Warband.
Yeah,
Yeah, the rules manual. So the rules state when a mount dismounts, it discards any war gear that's not on the official model. What happens if the dismounted model has war gear that the mounted model doesn't have? So if a Mirkwood Elf dismounts, the dismounted models all have options, while the knight does not. So saying that the dismount model gains war gear, so it can be accurately represented by the model. So war gear can magically appear in rare situations.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a weird ruling. I get they're trying to keep it WYSIWYG. But yeah, it's kind of strange when nothing else works like that. I prefer the last edition one where, or one of the previous editions where they just drop everything, or they kind of keep like one war gear. That makes more sense even. But then gaining war gear is yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, there's quite a few memes over in the GBHL Facebook group. So, if you're curious, there's some good ones regarding this FAQ.
So the rules for supporting says that the model contributes a single dice uh, to the dual roll that uses the supporting model's own fight value. Is this used to determine the highest fight value in the combat? Yes. Supporting model. If the supporting model has the highest fight value, then the model's side will win the combat.
This is kind of strange. Maybe there was a small change in wording because it's always worked like that. So, yeah, it's
If a Cav model has a spectral walk special rule, do they gain the charge bonus when charging into difficult terrain? Yes.
yeah, because they can just go over all difficult like regular, so it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Currently, that's only Riders of the Dead, right? That this applies to.
Yes, I believe so.
Can a mount with the hero keyword be chosen as the opponent's target in Fog of War? No, or should we say nay?
Uh,
It,
Funny,
yeah,
but too bad they didn't say assassination.
yeah.
I feel like it should be extrapolated to assassination, but I guarantee there's going to be rules lawyers that say otherwise. So, yeah, looking forward to that.
Also, it's interesting that this isn't a clarification, not an errata. So, is this how you always have meant to play it?
Oh,
Because previous edition, we played it the other way too, that you could target mounts, right? As how it's
yeah.
work.
Yeah, and most people that I talk to, it work like this, but somehow, I don't know, maybe it's different in the UK, or it's one of those things where it's like that Black Dart change in the last edition where everyone was playing it one way, but then they just FAQ'd it. They're like, oh no, actually it was always this way. I don't know. Whether it's a change or FAQ, I don't mind it. Sometimes it is feels bad if you're taking like Asphalloth or like Shadowfax, and then you're like, oh, it's so easy to dismount this edition too. One hurl and basically you're losing VP. So yeah, it's probably a good change, but yeah, hopefully they'll clarify as well in February that it includes all scenarios that has like pick a hero. Shout out to our awesome Patreon community. Check out Patreon for more details, which includes extra perks like extra content and custom dice. I also want to shout out our sponsors. Check out the Baron of Dice website for a wide range of dice, including for Middle-earth. And check out the Mithril Brush painting contest dedicated to Middle-earth. We're doing a giveaway for all patrons who've entered by the end of the year. Links in the description below.
This has been all of the FAQ changes and clarifications from August 2025. Let us know which changes you would have liked to see in this FAQ that you didn't get. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.